Good evening, family and friends. Welcome to my vlog this evening. It's Monday evening, and what is it? It's the 12th. Obviously, it's the 12th of October. It's been a very long day today. We've had a full day in court, listening to all the proceedings of court today. Because we were listening to sentencing being done. Now I'll start at the beginning. I'll go back and I will start at the beginning. So last year in November, my sister's son was murdered by another person in council offices in Uxbridge. That's an area in West London. And it was a totally unprovoked attack. My sister's son went into these council offices. He sat down. This other person came, took a couple of knives out and stabbed him first. He stabbed him, he didn't die. And then he did a second stabbing. And that second stabbing was what killed him. Anyhow, they called the ambulances, the air ambulance came, they tried to revive him on the scene. He couldn't be revived, and he was taken to the local hospital where he died. So this was a meeting that was brought together by some people at the council offices, and it was about knife crime in London. So they were trying to get some young people together to sit and talk about knife crime and how they could help other young people avoid knife crime in London, because knife crime in London is on the rise, and there's been lots of people who've fallen victim to it, as did my nephew last year in November. So anyhow, we have had, my sister and of course us also have had a full year of going to court, listening to the trial of this person who murdered our son. We've been listening to the trial, listening to the evidence, the video links, the stories, and so on, of how it all transpired, what happened for it to come to the point where Hakim, my nephew, was murdered. And the jury, because usually in this country, in the UK, it's a trial by jury, and the jury found this person guilty of the crime of murdering our son. Now, of course, when the jury found this person guilty, there was a gap between that and the sentencing. That is, a judge will then pronounce a sentence to say that because of the crime that you've committed and you've been found guilty, you then spend, this amount of time in jail. So that's what we went for today, this morning. And it's some small comfort for us, for my sister, for me, and for the rest of the family, to know that an amount of justice, I wouldn't say small justice, an amount of justice was done today, because he got 18 years minimum imprisonment and a life sentence. So he should serve 18 years before he comes up for parole. Now, it's a very long story, and obviously as time goes on and I'm able to discuss it a little bit more on my vlogging, I will do so. And I'm planning a session where my sister and I will come and we'll sit down and we'll be able to talk about it and talk about the process that we've had to go through this year, throughout the trial and right through to the sentencing today. So it's been a very, very long and eventful day, but I'm glad that we got the result that we got today. the person who killed my nephew, who murdered him in cold blood. My nephew Hakim had no defense. He wasn't able to fight. He was taken unawares. And this person had been targeting him for a full year, meeting him in all sorts of circumstances and intimidating him, extending all sorts of malicious behavior towards him, physical, as well as in all sorts of other ways, sending messages to him, saying that he's going to get him. So as he suffered a severe amount of bullying in the year before this person actually got to him and murdered him in those offices in Uxbridge on that day last year in November. So it's not easy, and I just want to talk about it a little bit more. Over next weeks and days, we will be able to discuss it a little bit more. For today, I'm just going to say we're just thankful that some small thing has been done. It's not going to bring Hakim back. It's not going to bring our son back. It's not going to bring my nephew back. But some small recognition of the fact that he suffered in the hands of this monster, and his life was taken away from him prematurely, without any warning. He didn't know. He had no idea that he would get into the trouble that he got into with this lad, and the way that his life was taken away from him, because he had big plans for his life. He wanted to go travelling, wanted to go to university, and so on and so forth. And he couldn't. Obviously, he can't do any of those things now. So we're glad that the sentencing at least has been done today, and we can then begin to pick up and move forward. Obviously, for my sister, this is going to be a lifelong sentence. It's not going to be easy for her, but we're all here and we're all in full support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Do please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you've experienced anything like knife crime in London or anywhere where you are and you feel you have something to say about this, please go ahead and do so. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a pleasant evening. Thanks.